Tim and Joel pod. Tim and Joel call on the ring. We're looking for an audio signature. That ain't it. That ain't it. Sorry, Joel. Maybe better luck on Tuesday.
Is that, yeah, maybe?
Yeah.
Is this going to be, maybe we should start like some sort of competition wherein everybody tries, but nobody actually, gets us to our audio signature, and somewhere down the line we get it.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Anyway, if you have any ideas, post them in the chat or join our Discord just down below. Join the Discord. How should I intro the show? I called Discord Discard, so we're off to a great start. I'm going to drink some of this coffee.
That's a good idea. And while you're drinking coffee, I'm going to ask two questions. One, why is YouTube not showing us that we're live and that we're still waiting?
That's a good fucking question.
Oh, hey, look, we're back. There it is. The second I say something is the second that it actually latches on and goes live.
Well, the audience will see that in about 30 seconds. What a delay this week. All right. Anyway, you're seeing this live. This is all very confusing for you. We're sorry.
Hey, you want to do the intro again now that we've realized that they messed it up on the YouTube side?
Oh, no, it did mess up. Hi, welcome to Tim and Joel pod. Here, let me do something for you. Do something for you. Reel that. Oh, there's the music again. Tim and Joel, call it in the ring, talking about wrestling. YouTube did something weird. It's all good. Damn, we got a second crack at it, and I still screwed it up, Joel. We're looking for an audio signature. Tim and Joel, call in the ring. How should I intro the show? Because I don't know. I'm gonna drink something.
There's got to be a way to do it. There's got to be a way to do it, because if you go over to our Discord, maybe hop over to our Discord. It's in the video description here. Give us some ideas of an audio signature that Tim could use to give you a little hello into the show.
Just saying, this is perfect corporate synergy between us and WWE, who are doing their little announcer challenge on TikTok. So if you want to do a little voice recording, pop it in the Discord. How should I intro the show? Because I'm too lazy to do it myself. So
that's right.
And then we'll do it. We'll do it every week if you come up with a good one. But if mine's better than yours, I'm going to choose mine.
We had 2 cracks at it, and we failed twice over.
Two for.
YouTube's going to see it once, but man, the audio, y'all are going to hear all of this, and it's going to be extra awkward. So thank you for sticking with us. Yeah. On top of
Can't edit it. Can't edit this. It's uneditable. It's going to just be that one.
Yeah. We're not going to do it. Quite honestly, I'm fine with that, because the next thing you know, what we're going to do is have you audio friends join us in the Discord. Do the same thing. Tell us what you think the audio signature should be. But while you do that, leave us a 5-star review over on the podcast app of your choice that you're listening to us through. Maybe if you're on YouTube, you can go ahead, toss us a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel. Maybe you tap that bell, get some notifications in your brain, okay?
Ding-a-ling.
We're good. There you go. Yep. Get it happening. Tim, how are you?
Tired.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've got a hangover that just won't quit from 2 days ago.
You think
I forgot how to drink. Yeah, that's exactly it. I haven't been drinking for a year and a half. Things got out of hand on Friday. I was shooting a music video. And then after the video, things got out of hand. But here we are, surviving.
I should probably check in on your bandmates, assuming it's the same band.
Nope, different band. They're
Damn,
fine.
I should.
Jason's just being, Jason, doing
bad
of course.
Things. I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find all of your bandmates. I'm gonna get them together, and I'm gonna say, hey, let's kick out Tim. I'm your new bass player.
Go for it.
It's
your band now.
It's my band now.
We have no drummer. Enjoy playing bass.
I mean, it might be better. Let's talk about some wrestling. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
SmackDown. Was it a good show? It
was fine, yeah. I got no real complaints about it. Well, no, there's a couple complaints, but it was decent. It wasn't bad.
That's true. I liked Cena coming out top of the show. He throws to the video package with Roman and him, and they do the Roman does the missionary thing in the package. I don't know if you know this, but in the YouTube rundown,
they edited it. It's weird. I was like, they're gonna keep it in. No, they're very proud of that, as they should be. It's very funny. So
someone went over to digital and was like, you put that back in. Don't you dare touch that.
That's gold. You're taking away our gold.
John Cena was like, I got a bit. I've got a joke. We're gonna use it. And anyway, they bring back the missionary thing, and he's like, hey, if you find someone who does missionary for 20 years, you keep them. And I'm like, I think that's not a good thing, John. maybe don't get happy about missionary
I don't know.
for 20
Do you
years.
follow John Cena on Twitter? Because he constantly posts these obnoxious, basic bitch like motivational things, and it's very irritating. It's just like, are you setting yourself up for some stupid book deal? Like, what are you doing? This is corny as
Of course he
shit.
is.
Like, anyway,
Well, that's John Cena.
whatever.
John Cena is
that,
a motivational
is that who he
person.
is as a person? I don't like it.
Oh, he's full of motivational platitudes. Of course he is.
Oh, it's so brainless. Like,
Everyone's waiting for a follow from John Cena on the Twitter. That's what it is.
don't follow me, John Cena, because it would just be me shit talking you on this pod. He's fine.
John Cena follows.
He's very
us,
funny
please.
in movies. I'll give him that. I think I like him more as an actor than I do a wrestler.
Sergeant Slaughter, he follows us on our Tim and Joel pod account.
That he does, because he's got taste.
That's right. The man understands it. Anyway, speaking of missionary, out comes Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin looking haggard, looking like he went through hell, looking like he rode the bus to work again. And he's like, John, help me. John, I'm so poor. I'm so hungry. I'm so he's basically a walking billboard for UNICEF at this point.
Yeah, also his dick doesn't work. You forget that was a very lengthy bit?
I was building to that, but thank you for using it now. Yes, he got hit in the nuts. Therefore, nothing works. Therefore, his wife is leaving him. By the way, for better or for worse, for sickness and in sickness and in health, and his wife doesn't give a shit about any of that. What did Corbin do? What did Corbin do that was so bad that his wife is like, I can't even stick by the rules of our wedding?
I don't know. He's yeah. I don't know what this is. It's dragging out a little long for me now.
No, I love it. I want to make it worse.
I don't know. I get desperate Corbin, but like the stakes are being raised a bit too much, because it's just like this is just ridiculous. Like, this poor man's life can't be that bad.
I like that they call back to SummerSlam 2017.
Yeah.
When Cena and Corbin had the match. Of course, Cena like buried Corbin. Like, that match was no good. This was after, I think Corbin had done the whole the CTE doctor and kind of called him out, and WWE was not happy about that, so they kind of buried him for a bit, and to the point where Cena beat him in like 5 minutes on the show. Either way, I like Cena's just like, who are you? Are you? Oh my God, you're Baron Corbin. Yeah. And he's just like, he was like the guy. Tough to recognize, yeah. He was like the nerdy kid at the high school reunion spotting the popular kid who's down on his luck. I like that. It was so stupid, but I liked it. And of course, Corbin begs him for money, and Cena gives him the $20.
$20.
And he's like, that's it? And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, we're in a cashless society.
It's true. I never have anything, like, always plastic.
Yeah, I don't keep cash, especially once we got into a pandemic. I was like, well, cash is over.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Cena is very charitable, but he's looking for those receipts, Like, and Corbin's not going to be able to do that.
That's right. Cena is absolutely, you're right. He's very charitable. There's got to be a reason to do it, though.
Yeah, a little bit of something, it's not for nothing.
So he's like, all right, fine. The best thing you can use is an attitude adjustment. And there you go. He hits the AA and everyone's happy. And that's the end of the segment. I like that. I thought it was a very cute opening segment.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. And it later makes things happen. It's good. It's good setup.
Yeah, it's a good setup. Absolutely. Let's move on. We're not going to go beat by beat, but Edge and Seth I like, because I like the idea of Seth Rollins coming over to Edge and just beating the shit out of him as they go to commercial during commercial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We really come back and it's just Seth with his shit-eating grin in the ring in his terrible suit. It's awesome. It's good.
As the crowd chants, we want Becky. Oh,
less dear. Good. That was very unpleasant. I hate it. I hate everything about that. I find it exhausting. Feel bad for Seth, because it's dumb. It's the dumb. I don't give a shit. She'll come back when she comes back. Like
100%.
Again, I don't think that like she's I don't get it. I don't get people. I really don't. Becky is a very good wrestler. She doesn't outclass everybody on the roster. Like, what do you want?
Listen, it's the same thing with those who are big Sasha Banks fans, Liv Morgan fans. I know how much you love Liv Morgan. Yeah. And the list goes on and on. And it's just, some people have their absolute favorites. I can't blame them, but it's
lame. It's so lame to me. It's just like, Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Thanks for ruining that segment because it really did for me. Like, I think that Seth was doing some good stuff, and it's tough to get over that.
So Rollins' whole thing is like, if he can't be Universal Champion, Edge can't be Universal Champion either.
Fair.
Does he go after John Cena after this and be like, nobody can be Universal Champion? Is he going to get involved in the SummerSlam main event later on and like stage a coup? What are we doing?
I mean, I think that'd be very good, but yeah, they're not going to do it. It's just going to be Edge and Seth, and it's going to be a match, and the other match will go uninterrupted, is my expectation. But I think it'd be good if you just had Seth like being a thorn in everyone's side, like ruining anything Roman wants to do, or maybe Roman hires him for this. I don't know.
It's true.
Because he didn't want this match, right? Because, contract. We'll get to that. But
I still think Edge and Seth has some sort of stipulation attached to it.
I think that'd be the right call. Like, definitely, because it is more than just like a good sportsmanship match, right?
Yeah. Could you imagine? It's a good sportsmanship match. It's a Ring of Honor style match. You got to shake hands at the beginning. Exactly. You got to adhere by the code of honor. And Edge is just like, I have never done this once in my life. And
not once.
Rollins is just like, I got this. I'll walk you through it. Don't ask me how I know, but I'll help you through it. We'll be fine. Anyway, they go through. They do that segment. I liked it. It was it's building up a good story. I like the A and B stories so far have been really, really well put together. And then we get to the contract tomfoolery.
Oh my god. Which
I saw some people absolutely losing their shit over this.
Like, really that upset about it?
Yes. And like really upset.
What I do appreciate is they fixed the dumbness of it with the commentary, like, and then they accounted for it. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It was mighty dumb though, but
we all knew where we were going. Like, it's just like on Tuesday when I showed you all that photo that says this match will not happen with the triple threat women's match for the Raw Women's Championship. That match is not going to happen. And then earlier in the day, WWE had put up a Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns graphic, and people were like, oh my God, they're going to do it. And I'm like,
no, they're not.
I don't think you understand how much time the graphics department has to throw this shit together.
It does not take long.
It does not. These things are cut out and ready to go.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, trust me, if they can change it that quickly, they can change the other stuff just as quickly. So John Cena eventually, he does sign the contract, but not before Finn Balor gets duped, Corbin gets duped, and Balor also made a comment about winning the Universal Championship and taking it back to NXT with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I'm reading too far into this.
Yeah, 100%.
The idea of Finn Balor winning the Universal Championship and then being like, peace out, going back to Tuesdays, see ya, bye. I would do the same, actually. I'd be like,
it's the right call.
Exactly. It's going to be Finn Balor and Karrion Kross in a title for title match. Yeah, I know everyone wants that. So so Corbin comes out and he takes out Balor. And of course, now we're going to do Balor and Corbin next week on SmackDown. Fine by me.
Yeah,
honestly,
that sounds good. I'm really hyped for that match. I would have loved it if they like kept it going until SummerSlam. They might still. Maybe Corbin gets disqualified.
So Balor hits a coup de grace. This is in the match next week, I'm saying. He'll hit a coup de grace on Corbin. Corbin will start walking around with tape ribs.
Yeah.
That's the gimmick.
His ribs are broken too. Yeah.
We're getting to the point where we're going to have to incapacitate Corbin, where he is in a wheelchair.
I was about to say wheelchair inbound. Yeah.
And then at one point they might even have someone like talking for him. I think that's where we're going.
Yeah, that or tracheotomy, and he's got the little voice box.
Oh, the Stephen Hawking voice box?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Good Lord.
Woof.
Anyway. Speaking of woof, Apollo eats more pins.
Yeah, this is all just a mess.
The mid-card is a mess. I don't get it.
It's just, I don't know. They got Cesaro out there so he could do the spin thing and people could count to 10. And then, woo.
I'm glad that WWE is testing their audience in terms of how they can, how well they count.
Yeah, it's just that. The whole thing feels like they just so they could do the Nakamura entrance. They could get the spins. And Big E gets his pop. That was the entire purpose of all of this. They didn't even we didn't even see the heel entrances on the show, right?
That's right. I didn't even think about
Like,
that.
this was purely for the live crowd.
Which is hilarious because it was the same damn match last week for exclusively the live crowd.
It's like a house show, man. It felt weird, this entire thing. Like, that match is a house show match. Like,
It is. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're working towards. Could it be a multi-man match at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship? Is that what we're going to do?
That doesn't feel like where they're going with it, though, right? So I don't know.
I know, because Nakamura pinned Apollo, so now the idea is, well, they pinned the champion, and in WWE, you pin the champion, you get the title match.
Well, and they want that entrance, right? Like, they like the fan participation with the singing.
I still think it's Cesaro getting that title at WrestleMania. Or, sorry, at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think that'd be the right call, but...
Either way. I have nothing more to add, because there's nothing...
there's nothing to talk about. It just happened. There. Like, it was... The Dirty Dogs were in it. I barely remember them doing anything. Aziz grabbed Boogs and chucked him a little.
Remember when Aziz used to grab people by the dick and twist?
Yep. Much better times.
Those were the days. Yeah, now Nakamura has to have a championship contender series match or whatever the hell they call it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He's got to win the match to win the match to win the match to get the championship.
Yeah.
That's right. That's how we do it. Let's talk about Ray and Jimmy. Now, this whole feud has become a everybody sucks here feud.
Yep.
Because the only way to win is by cheating.
Yep.
And now it's turned about as fair play. The last 2 weeks, those last 3 matches, it's been the Usos, doing the push-up, roll-up victory. So what do they do this week? Ray gets the victory. He rolls up Jimmy, and that's that.
A couple of real sloppy 619 attempts, and then yep.
I like both these teams. I really do.
Same, yeah.
I just don't know why we keep pulling this. It's the same match. It's not the same, but it's the same outcome every week. I'm not invested in this anymore.
No,
I don't care if I see it again.
Like, it just, your old man's got a few tricks up his sleeve, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Like, it's not working for me right now.
The only trick I want to see up his sleeve is him turning on his stupid son. You want to get his son over as like this massive baby face, but you can't turn Ray.
No,
like you can't turn Ray heel. But like even if Dominic wants to turn, sure, that's fine. It's a good way to at least move him forward. If they want to get to Dominic and Ray, let's say at WrestleMania, where it's a big blow off, Ray's retirement match, something like that, that's fine by me. But man, we got to get there sometime, and it's probably not going to happen until maybe the Royal Rumble. They're both in the match, and Dominic's going to toss out his dad.
Yeah, maybe. I'm also good just not seeing that. Like, I don't need the father versus son match. Like, it doesn't need to happen for me. And if they do it, maybe just do it like a respect one. Like, not this long drawn out. Although, Ray's been a part of some pretty cringy feuds. So.
Their whole like gimmick together is that they are father and son, but like their whole raison d'etre on the main roster is father and son.
Yep.
There's no other like
determining.
There's no other determining factor that separates them. It's just the same thing. Reggie and Chad Gable.
Yep.
The crowd likes Reggie.
Yeah, the crowd likes Reggie, which is why Reggie's going to be on every show now, it seems. 24/7, I haven't seen on SmackDown in forever.
Vince loves Reggie. I was very confused. I didn't realize the 24/7 title was a multi-brand title to be defended anywhere, but it's become the Raw title because it's a 3-hour show and they can't fill 3 hours to save their lives. So Reggie comes out, and then out comes Otis with Chad Gable, and Otis gets on the mic. He's like, "It's not me. It's him." And I'm like, that's very anticlimactic.
Weird. Yeah, and then he just shoves him.
And then later gets involved in the match.
They made a point of him being Reggie. Are they unbranding him as Reginald? He is now officially Reggie, and he's not French because Americans can't like French people.
Well, that's him.
That's Vince McMahon's mentality. Like, it's dumb. That was awful. I hate it. I hate it so much.
They explained it away, though. At least they explained it away. They did a backstage segment for digital, and I guess they aired it on Talking Smack, where Reggie was like, I heard that Carmella was looking for a sommelier. I faked it. I made it. And now I can tell you all, my name is Reggie, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm like, okay, close enough. Fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever, dude. I don't know why he couldn't do New Orleans because, people in New Orleans speak French.
Uh-huh.
They don't speak the same French, but at least they speak some French and they could fake it. I don't know, it was whatever. The real story here is Reggie versus Sintra de Oro, also known as the former Sin Cara. Because I don't know if you saw this.
No.
But man, they got into it on the social media over the stupid trampoline entrance.
Really?
Yes.
Gimmick infringement. Let's fight about nothing. My God.
And the former Sin Cara was just like, this is a tough gig. You got to do it 7 days a week and with busted knees, blah, blah, blah. And Reggie's like, cool, bro. I was in Cirque du Soleil.
Whatever you were doing, it
was a dick measuring contest of the weirdest variety. And so that turned Reggie into a babyface for everyone. Everyone who was just ambivalent towards Reggie was just like, nah, you're right. You're good. We like you.
Yeah.
So
I'm down with Reggie. It's cool.
More splashing in wrestling. Not just splashes, like more splashy moves. Let's do that. Speaking of flashy and splashy, Sasha Banks is back.
She ran out, saved Bianca very quick.
She's in this 100-day interview as champion, as Bianca Belair.
Oh, hold on.
Go ahead.
Has the AR graphic been there before and I've just never noticed it? Because I hate Bianca Belair's AR graphic.
The lips
it is upsetting.
The lips and the hair have always been there.
It is a nightmare thing.
I don't hate it. I hate
scary.
The Roman Reigns AR graphic.
Yeah, the woo.
Yeah, anything that looks like a human in an AR form is awful. Yeah, Lacey Evans had an equally bad one. I need them to stop those. The Bianca one is fine. It reminds me of the Choo Choo, the mouth for the what's Choo Choo? The song Choo Choo Boogie? It was the gum.
Yeah. What was it? Like Juicy Fruit?
Was it Juicy Fruit or was it Twizzlers? I'm maybe thinking of Twizzlers.
Either way, it's weird. It looks like a monster. It looks like a little alien monster, and I don't care for it. Yeah, Tim Burton shit. Like.
So next thing you know, Bianca's doing the 100-day interview, and then out comes Carmella, and I'm like, oh my God, run it back, please, run it back. I want to see the look on people's faces. And then Zelina comes out, and I'm like, oh, we're not gonna run it back. It's gonna be stupid. So now Mella and Zelina seem to be a tag team. That's what they're gonna do, which means Zelina's just gonna take all the L's for Mella because that's just what you do.
Still in the penitent phase.
Whatever, forget that. Shockingly, her husband wasn't streaming while she was on TV. So there you go. So yeah, Mel and Zelina come out, and then they're beating down Bianca, and out comes Sasha, and Sasha beats them down, and everyone's hot and excited. And then she hugs Bianca, and Bianca's like, what the fuck's going on? But like a little bit. And everyone, we all know what's going to happen. That's fine. And then they do the match and do the tag match. And then at the end, what happens? We got 5 minutes left in the show, so we got to do the turn. And it's fine. When it's predictable, predictable's not always bad. Like, we all know what's going to happen. They just had to make it look good, and they did. So I can't complain.
Did they make it look good? I don't think they did, because I think Sasha really sucked at putting in the bank statement in this segment, and it looked really bad because Bianca kept having to adjust her hands to make it look like it was actually locked in.
Okay.
I'm tired of these bad holds. It's not that hard, and you're not going to hurt anyone. Like, I don't get that. That's what I don't get, because like it was so limp and loose, and it kind of took me out of the spot, because it just looked really bad while Bianca is extremely emotive about it. So
you're just a regular Stone Cold Steve Austin over here. One thing I can't stand about John Cena is that when he does the AA, when he does the STF, he doesn't clutch it in. It's the same thing.
That's the thing. It is dumb. Tighten it up a little bit. Like, you're not going to hurt anyone. It's not that hard to control that. Like, I don't get it.
I get it. No, I understand what you're saying, and maybe you're right. I hadn't noticed. I took that more as Bianca was trying to like power out of it, and she couldn't. But if she's moving her hands and like
she moved it to make it look better, because like Bianca, I think, recognized like it was too low and not at all locked in. But she made it look like she was trying to get out of it. So like she did a really good job readjusting, but then she kept like dropping it. I don't know. Whatever. It was fine. The turn itself was fine. Like, that made sense to me. Good stuff. I guess we're doing it again at SummerSlam.
Still no Toni Storm.
Yeah.
This week.
Like, why are we bringing
debut her? Take the week off. Why not? Of course. Yeah. Still no Liv Morgan, which is even more egregious to some. So did you ever see the documentary that they did about Liv Morgan?
No.
It was on the network. it was it was basically a cell phone is what it was, because the whole idea was like, Liv has all this potential. Liv could do just about anything. She's worked hard, but we're not going to debut her. Like, it was the story of how she's just not being brought back and how creative continues to bungle her.
That's a weird thing to put on your
It
own
was
network.
Yeah, and it was just a cell phone, and then she came back, and well, now we saw it. I mean, in Money in the Bank, she was over. Leading up to Money in the Bank, she was over. I never thought for a minute she was going to win Money in the Bank, and you can go back and hear us both mention this. But I said, I hope they have something planned for her, because it sure as hell does not look like she's going to win Money in the Bank and go anywhere from this.
No, and nothing's happened. And there's no there's so much there. They could have done so much. They could have just had another women's segment rather than have the 6-man.
Zelina and Liv Morgan were going at each other on socials for weeks. They could have easily done something with those two.
Pivot to that. Like
I said, and then make them into a tag team, a reluctant tag team that does well. They could have done that, but instead we don't have them on TV. And no Schnoxy either. I think, honestly, I just think that's because of the Natalia injury. You still could have put them in a promo, but whatever. I guess last week they didn't have they had them in a promo with no match, so to just keep putting them backstage working on a tank is a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, we can talk about Bray Wyatt. I've read a little bit. My immediate knee jerk was that he asked for this. Yes. But I don't think that's the case. But that's how when I saw it, I was like, yeah, he wanted out, but maybe he didn't.
So I woke up to that news and I was just saying, the dude's been ready to go.
Yeah. Both
in and out of the ring. Like, he was ready to both wrestle and leave.
Yeah.
And for me to read, he's been released. First of all, I was shocked because it's a Saturday morning. Yeah. And that shit doesn't happen on a random Saturday morning as I'm doing dishes. And I get the message from a friend of mine who like follows wrestling peripherally, and in our group chat, he's just like, "Oh shit," about Bray, and I'm like, "What?" And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking maybe an injury.
Yeah.
But no, then or worse than that. But I went over and I'm like, "Oh, okay, he was released," and immediately, like you, I'm just like, "Okay, he asked for this, had to."
Yeah.
No questions asked. And I dug around a little bit myself, and I have about as much info as any. I don't want to say as much as Sean. Sean has much more info than I do.
Yeah.
But from what I gathered, it's everything you've read on Select is what's going on. The budget cuts line is just what they use now, and it's garbage. It's so stupid because you can run it back.
Yeah, it doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
Days after they talk about record earnings per quarter, and again, you do that because you have investors who are interested in the money you make, not the talent you keep or release.
But you also you can't lie. It's not like they're not making record like that. So
Bray obviously had a big contract. That's not in dispute. If anything, it's kind of a win-win for WWE in this case, or at least for Bray and WWE, because at the end of the day, if Bray wasn't happy with his creative and he wasn't happy with the way creative was going to bring him back or run him,
been? It was so.
They took
He's had so many good ideas, and they've just screwed it up over and over again. Like, if I was going to come back and watch wrestling, it would have been during the Wyatt family stuff, because that was a genius idea, and it never turned into anything interesting because he kept losing. Like,
and that's really interesting because a lot of people don't remember the Wyatt family stuff right now. Yeah. They do think about the Fiend because they kept bringing back the Fiend, him losing and leaving, and nothing ever came of it, to the point where at WrestleMania this past year, he loses his match against Randy Orton. Randy Orton himself wanted to lose that match to the Fiend. But creative had absolutely no plans.
Again, like a genius idea, a dark Mr. Rogers type. Like, that's such an interesting thing to put together with like these two personalities. Like, and they just squandered it. Like, it truly is baffling because like it's never going to get better than the ideas he put forward, and like they can't manage it. And I have no faith in that company to do anything like that anymore in an interesting way. You're gonna get the same tired stuff over and over again for all eternity.
The timing is messed up, especially as AEW starts ramping up some of their talent acquisitions after Vince McMahon in a Q2 earnings call says something along the lines of, maybe we should give AEW more talent, as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek
And you know what? I'm tired of people like ripping on it, because like when you're giving away people that are this talented, you'd be stupid not to. To hell with all of your idiot critics. Like, get Bray immediately. Like, even if he's not ready to wrestle, and like give him the opportunity to create. Like, the guy's got a mind for this like nobody else.
This is going to sound weird. I wouldn't mind seeing him in a place like MLW. Yeah. And I'm not the biggest MLW fan, but also I think this is one time where I want to see him go somewhere where he becomes like the guy.
Yeah, like the absolute. Somewhere where he can be as dominant. Yeah. He could, like, because that's the thing. You bring him in to any promotion and you can build that promotion very quickly, and to a degree that would have been unprecedented for them.
Absolutely. He could end up in Impact. He can end up in MLW. I don't know if he'd work in ROH. I think you can do what him and Vincent, or a member, like the new leader of Vincent's crew there. But there's not a ton to do. I just think you bring him into AEW. I understand why people want that. It makes perfect sense, especially with some of the John
It's just because of the money. It's the money. I don't care about the Dark Order stuff. I actually would like them to not do that. Like, I don't think he needs to rehash old ideas. Like, I think what he needs to do is go to a place that can give him the money to do something interesting, and to just go out and do it. Like, give him full creative control, because I think he's got such a good mind for it. And like, yeah, he keeps coming up with characters where he has to be like purely dominant. So maybe give him that caveat. Be human, or somebody who can lose, and we'll give you all the support you need. Like,
that ridiculous hardcore Holly story.
Yeah,
give me the belt.
That's the one problem. Like, it's tough because he did create characters that needed to win all the time, which is a bit much. That's tough to work with sometimes.
But you can make those characters and build them without those characters needing to hit a championship.
Agreed.
And
like, that's the worst problem is they kept giving him the belt, and it's like, this guy shouldn't care about the belt, and it didn't care about the belt. He turned it into a creepy face. Like,
people saw it, and that's the thing. He didn't do that. That was a Vince McMahon. That was a merch machine type of thing.
Yep.
They saw the writing on the wall. They saw the money in the pockets available for this, and so next thing you knew, they had him win the championship, the Universal title, not even on a WWE paper, like a regular pay-per-view. He won it at Crown Jewel, like he won it at a Saudi show on Halloween, which was funny. But there was no reason to do it. It was really just to make the title and give him the stupid face title that they could sell for $6,500 Canadian.
Yeah, which is, man, like, that's the problem with WWE. I know people keep buying stupid shit, which is what, like, oh man, it's depressing how much like our vote by the dollar just keeps going towards the wrong things. But whatever, the people like what they like.
They do, and it's whatever, man. The only reason I would own any of the titles is to literally put it behind me and use it as a set piece. That's the only thing I would do.
And I don't own a single wrestling shirt.
That's fair.
Like, I don't own any of that stuff. I'll buy one eventually, but I'll probably do it at a show, and it won't be a WWE one.
Well, that's the same. The merch that I buy tends to be from the talent themselves, so that they can make a little bit of money and I can support them directly. I've bought stuff from WWE.com, of course, but I'll buy it on clearance. That's the thing. Yeah. Like the hoodies that I have, all bought on clearance for like $18 to $20, because A, I'm cheap, and B, it just works. Yeah. our friend Ron in the chat saying $6,500 you can fly from Fort Lauderdale to Australia round trip, and it's probably going to be a nice seat on that flight too, because I think the regular flight from Canada is like $3,000.
Bruh, that's 2.5 months rent.
There you go.
And it should be more months rent, but we're in this stupid city, so
that's right. The point is here, a lot of people have kind of stake their claims or stake their comments into the Bray Wyatt story, including Mickie James, that I think she friggin' nailed it. I don't always like Mickie James, and I said this on Twitter, but man, did she get it. With the future endeavors comment from WWE, she quote tweeted and said, "I think what you meant to say was, quote, thank you so much for coming up with such an incredible gimmick time and time again. One so cool and over, we really didn't know how to book it right. So we just gave it to someone else, and we can still make all the money off of it and let you go."
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Alexa Bliss because it's not her fault.
It has nothing to do with her.
Absolutely not her fault. But what it does mean is they took the gimmick, they made it transferable. They did what they did to Razor and Diesel.
Yep.
They transferred the gimmick to 2 other people, and it didn't get over. With Alexa, the only reason it got over is because she has put a spin on it, and she's put her all into it like she tends to.
Yeah, she's very talented, right? And that's the difference. Like, they were able to just transport it that way. And, you know, it's not going to be the same, but like, The Fiend was great until that Hell in a Cell match, and then losing to Goldberg, like, was the final nail in the coffin for me. I just didn't care after that because it was ruined. So,
being asked if this means Alexa's going to change her character, I don't think so.
I don't think, if she can withstand the bullshit from the internet losers, then she'll be fine. Otherwise, WWE might be forced to. But
things change so quickly with that stuff. The next outrage is coming literally.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be upset over some other dumb crap soon enough, and they'll move on.
Exactly. That's just the way of things. More on the release from Fightful Select. Like we said, budget cuts. Johnny Ace made the call. John Laurinaitis, who's head of talent relations, again, like, the message to talent was told that it was a budget cut, but really, let's face it, like, Wyatt's known as a great merch seller whenever he's active, which is true. We just discussed this.
Yeah.
And then, if he's such a moneymaker, then why would they release someone with budget cuts? Again, we talk about this. In the hours following the release, we're told that Wyatt's name was brought up during another recent round of cuts. So there you go. He's been on the chopping block before. There have been multiple wrestlers that were discussed but ended up being held on to, as we've seen that. And then, of course, there was a slated return for August with tentative creative plans. But Wyatt's like, nah, forget that. I don't trust you and your creative. I wouldn't let it either. I wouldn't let that happen either. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just really... Again, another reason why I'm hoping AEW is because I just want them to eat their words. Like, I really want AEW to ascend over time, like, to be better than this company. Because I think they have the potential. They definitely have the financing to do it. So, I don't know.
It used to bug me when I would see Tony and co play the I'm the really nice guy, come over to my side on Twitter. Same. It used to bug the shit out of me.
Because they're still rampant capitalists and Cody's anti-union. Like, there's stuff about this company that I'm not thrilled about, but...
Right. But then this week we saw, as I kind of transition out, we saw someone who works for Wrestling Observer, does, as more of a volunteer, covered NXT for years for Wrestling Observer. His name is JJ Williams. And he posted on Twitter that he got kicked out of the NXT spoilers, the tapings for Sci-Fi, because he was posting photos and posting results, which is something that he and others have been doing when NXT was taping.
Yep.
He's been there since day one. They've harassed him before, but this time they kicked him out and said, you're out for good. And what happens next after a whole string of comments? Like, he went on for it was a thread of 6 posts. And then what happens? Tony says, I'll see you at Homecoming. Yeah. I can't be upset about that.
I know, like, because it's not my thing. I try to avoid spoilers for most of this stuff, but, like, whatever. And, like, I don't know. Tony, they're doing stuff. They're picking up different people, and they do seem somewhat better on the whole because the Fed is messed up. Like, I really don't like a lot of... There are too many bad stories, and AEW hasn't been around long enough to accumulate as many bad stories either. I'm not saying that they're never going to happen, but, like...
It's inevitable. It is inevitable.
Like, you run a business, especially a business like this, you're going to get your hands dirty. But hopefully they can steer clear of that for as long as possible.
It's entirely possible that they have one hell of an NDA involved. What time is it? Is that your fire alarm?
It's a fire alarm.
Wonderful. This is great content. You want to talk about Homecoming?
I think Bray's pissed. I don't know.
I think you pissed off Bray Wyatt.
All right, let's talk about Homecoming. Hopefully it filters out a little bit.
Honestly, at this point, there's not much I have to say about Homecoming because I've talked about it all over on Fightful. So if you go over to
Yeah,
youtube.com/Fightful,
you talked about it to death.
I did a 50-minute review of it. But it was a good, honestly, it's a really fun show. If you're hearing me and you don't know, go watch the show.
Yeah, you did a great job describing it as it felt like an indie show. Like it seemed like a really, really, really fun indie show. The audience was into it. They had a lot of cool moments. And Aiden English is here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, he referenced the lesser Bach, I'm assuming, because Johann Sebastian Bach wrote no symphonies because they did not exist during his lifetime. So he surely must have been referencing Johann Christian Bach. But
I assume he was talking about Sebastian Bach, who used to be the frontman from Skid Row.
Anyway, I thought that was very funny because it was like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, but that's fine.
Comes in, has a really good night. That's a good start for Matt Raywalt. I'm happy. I think he deserves it. I think he's tall and lanky, and it scares the shit out of me. He is a
gangly weirdo, but he's fun to watch. I do enjoy him quite a bit, so I was very, very pleased to see him turn up.
Yes. Could you imagine if that man had a tan? Could you imagine what WWE would do if he had a tan? My God, they'd push him to the moon.
Yeah, to the moon. Oh well, here he is, the drama king.
He's legitimately long hair and a tan away from being like taller, sexier Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
We just fixed Matt Raywalt. And he's married to a Guerrero, so he would automatically be
Oh my
over.
God, very over, yeah.
Guys, what are we doing here? Why aren't we booking the territory? Tell him how to look.
It was fun. I liked the show a lot. I liked the intergender hesitancy on a few of them. Like the Fall of Boss stuff was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, the nice Ellering Dreamer Legion of Doom stuff was nice, very nice. So
yeah, I enjoyed that. Again, like I talk about it on Fightful. It was a really fun show to watch. Go in with it with like low expectations, and you will come out thinking that it was a really fun show.
And Chelsea Green did some wrestle. She did a wrestle.
I was surprised.
It was good. Yeah, she managed to do pretty well, all things considered. You know, with her busted arm.
It's kind of ridiculous. Going back with Chelsea and Bray Wyatt. So she had posted a photo of herself and basically said Bray should come to Impact. And then people jumped on
Everyone got real upset. And I was
like,
he just lost his job. He's got a family. Dude, I don't know.
Can I tell you something?
Fine.
I am no longer in the camp of like, Chelsea, shut up. I'm not in that camp anymore. Yeah, I think what she did was really smart. I don't think she's the smartest. No. But I think that what she did was super smart because she knows how to keep her name in the conversation and keep herself relevant. She said in an interview that, you know, WWE should bring her back as like Alexa Bliss's best friend, and then she wins the belt. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the Hardcore Holly story.
Yeah. She's taking the piss. I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't care. This is how you survive in this industry. Like, you have to be a shameless self-promoter. It's fine. I don't care.
She said she would pose. She said she would pose for Playboy, and everyone was like, "Yeah!" And I'm like, she ain't gonna do it. And like, if she does, all the power to her.
Does anybody even do that anymore? Like, do they have a magazine still? I don't even know.
I don't even think they have a magazine. I think they sold it off when Hef hit the bucket.
Yeah, exactly. So,
man,
whatever. Like, Bray's not living hand to mouth. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he will. He's got a family. So does.
Yeah, and he can literally go anywhere and they will pay him as much as they can possibly afford. Like,
telling you, man, MLW, he's going to become the new head booker. Court Bauer is going to be like, take all my money. You're not a problematic wrestler, but I can tell you can make a good amount of money for us.
I would prefer if I didn't have to watch a whole new thing again, but we'll see.
Apparently Playboy does still have a magazine, according to our friend and
our friends in the know.
our friend Mike, who, by the way, we should probably mod in this chat because we should do that. We'll do that later. Yeah. Let's talk about Fight for the Fallen. Let's talk about Dynamite.
Yes.
I know you were really excited. I forget what I was doing, but you kept messaging me when I was it during the Impact stream?
Yes, yeah, it was during the Thursday night. I was watching Fight for the Fallen, and it was
man,
I'm full AEW stan now. Yeah, I know. Things are burning down. It's fine. I got insurance, and I can probably get out of here. The door is right. Yeah,
it's commitment. So you're messaging me during the Impact watch along, and I'm like, what the hell is this about? And you're like, I'm going to be a full on Impact fan. I'm like, I'm not going to hate you for it. Sure. Does that mean you're going to start watching Dark Elevation and Dark?
No, absolutely not. Still no. But I might actually watch Rampage now. So
I mean, it's an hour after SmackDown. If you're not already SmackDowned out, then you'll enjoy Rampage. At least the first 2 episodes.
yeah, at least, yeah.
So Fight for the Fallen happened this past Wednesday, and we'll start off right with that Rampage announcement that the second event for Rampage will be at the United Center, which is huge in Chicago.
Yeah.
And of course, what does the crowd start doing?
Immediate CM Punk. And it's like, oh.
You bet.
Which
But they
again,
focused on the crowd. They focused on the crowd, which means they know. They're
know.
well aware of the
everyone
chatter.
knows
They're well aware.
Everyone knows, which is whatever. Like, it's a bit. I'm not the hugest fan of that, but it's unavoidable. This is what wrestling is nowadays. It has been for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so,
it makes me think of like when Goldberg and Brock did their match and it was terrible and everyone knew they were both leaving and they were just like shouting at them the entire time. Like, the meta narrative sometimes creeps in and makes it really bad, but it's fine.
They sell 10,000 tickets in pre-sale.
They're doing it. They're building.
That was Friday. They go on sale. General sale is on Monday. That venue holds about 23,000-ish in full capacity, but you can't make it full because they've got to set, they got to bring in that stuff. 18,000 people for wrestling is probably what they'll do, and they'll sell it out, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'll be real big.
It's good. It's great to see, great to hear. Like,
and then right after they go to a Darby promo. And he says something about being the best in the world. Doesn't care who the best in the world is. And honestly, at that point, I'm thinking he's going to get Daniel Bryan. He's not going to get CM Punk.
Either way, either one of them, I want to see that match. I think
I do
really
too.
Great. Like,
I think Bryan would put over Punk like that. Bryan would put over Darby like that.
Yeah.
I think if Punk comes in, Punk isn't going to be as willing to put over Darby immediately. I think Punk should come in, reestablish himself as a winner.
He really needs to after the UFC. So
honestly, I've said it. I mean, we'll fast forward a bit. MJF used the pipe bomb promo as well. Started using it on Jericho when he announced the next labor for Jericho, which we'll get to in a sec. And my feeling is it's going to be Punk and MJF because
I think that would be good.
Let's do it. But the reason I'm thinking that is because MJF can easily say, Punk, you don't have it. You've been out of the ring for 7 years. You don't have the promo. You don't have the capacity. You're not good. Look at me. I'm young. I'm 25. I can beat the shit out of you. I'm the guy now. I'm the new you. You wanted to be Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper, you couldn't be. I'm the next Roddy Piper. Forget you. I'm better. Let that be the story. I'm fine.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
And that's fine with me. Even more fine. Like, the bells are going off in my head telling me that I'm right. So let's talk about the 5 labors. Talk about Jericho and Nick Gage. Let's talk about the pizza cutters and glass pane hurricane runners.
Actual glass. Actual glass. It is. It was 100%. The way their arms, like, he's gonna. I guess he's already died once, but Jericho clearly took that high spot criticism to heart because he needed to prove he's hard. Like, that shit is dangerous. I can't believe they do that.
You still haven't seen the Dark Side of the Ring episode with Nick Gage, have you?
No, I will be, but
we're absolutely going to get you to watch it. Go follow Tim on Twitter and be like, hey, watch this right now.
Have you watched it yet? Yeah, just
every single day. Every day, just be like, hey, Tim, have you watched the Nick Gage Dark Side yet? And that was my first thing. I was like, have you not seen this? Because you should probably see this if you're going to watch anything with Nick Gage to understand how messed up and well-loved he is. It's kind of crazy.
He's a strange dude. I found this is the first time I've seen a pizza cutter spot like in a match. Like, I've seen short clips, but like he's not great with it. It looks real dumb. And like you can blunt a pizza cutter so easily. Like,
Nick Gage doesn't do anything half-assed. That's my favorite thing.
Did they use a sharp pizza cutter just for that one little arm cut spot? Like,
he used it against his face afterwards.
Yeah, but he didn't use it. Like, he's holding it and it's not even rolling. Like, nah.
Feels like stuff still happened.
This is Toronto Fire Services. We are on scene and investigating an alarm on the 3rd floor. Please remain at your current location if it is safe to do so.
Okay, I got the blessing from the fire department. I can remain at my current location as it's safe to do so.
Oh, they're still putting that. I thought that was going to be it for the stupid alarm. This is the best content, let me tell you,
Oh, the
friends.
memes. Speaking
So,
of memes, yeah, and the Domino's ad. My God.
yes. Did you see what happened next with Domino's?
Where they cut to a Domino's ad?
No.
No. What's
After
okay?
that.
What is advanced? I saw PBR were ripping into him because there's clearly a partnership brewing there, which is so exciting.
I mean, listen, if PBR isn't going to go for us, then AEW, I guess, is okay for a secondary.
Yeah.
So, yes, the Domino's ad. As the pizza cutter spot happens, next thing you know, Domino's ad flashes on the P&P, also known as the picture-in-picture. Domino's apparently did not know, or they say they didn't know, and they're upset.
But this is the thing that happens with all advertising. You are always at risk of this when advertising on television programs. Like, there's always a chance that something terrible is happening, like, just before your show airs or your
I
ad
think
airs.
this was planned.
It seems very
it's
perfectly spotted.
Yeah,
Like,
a little too synergy for this. But also there's David Bixenspan fan who I love as a human being, but man, does he love to dig in on things really hard.
he gets real angry about like he's the dark side guy, right?
Yes, he's
Like,
one of the
it's
researchers on
amazing
Darkside.
to me that he has the energy to get outraged about anything in wrestling ever, because, like, you know how bad it is. The industry itself is just bad. Like, I can't anymore. I can't muster the outrage. It's just, as I've said 1,000 times, everyone's a scumbag until they prove otherwise in this industry.
Right. So Bix loves to find the things to discuss. Like, he's an investigative journalist.
Yes,
He is.
yeah.
He really digs, and I love that about him.
Great work.
What I don't love is when he gets so micro focused and gets the littlest big hard on for things.
Yeah.
So what happens is he did a little digging, and he's found a little bit of a correlation that it's possible that the people who reported about the Domino's being upset thing may have had a little bit of push from WWE.
A little bit of a plant. Maybe they're a little bit shaking in their boots now. Maybe they are seeing them as competition.
Go and read his article. It's Babyface versus Heel. That's his Substack. Go read his article. But he basically said, without being able to confirm and show you the screenshot, but it's all but confirmed, someone had reached out to him and said, hey, WWE wanted us to run the Domino's is mad headline.
It does
This
seem
was,
so.
This was 2 hours after Vince had made the Q2 call and the comment that kind of went off on AEW about the talent. So, like, this was a little bit of counterbalance here.
Yeah. And that's like, I don't know, WWE has sanitized their product to death. At least they think they have. They haven't. It's still, in my opinion, like, kind of toxic to certain advertisers.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, they've cleaned it up, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, hey, you want to be a family-friendly pizza chain? Like, it's like, man, the only people I know who get Domino's are drunk as shit.
Like, saying Domino's isn't really pizza. It's just
it's stop putting
Cardboard
cornmeal everywhere, you lunatics.
it's cardboard with toppings.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm gonna order pizza tonight because that's so much better.
Oh my
here in
God,
Canada,
that's
let me tell you.
significantly worse. I'll take Domino's any day.
So Gage takes the fall. He loses the match. He looks good taking 2 L's in 4 days, though.
That he does. Getting paid, getting real paid. It's so
getting
bloody.
real paid.
My God,
getting
this is gross.
huge exposure. I don't think anyone's seen Nick Gage on this grand a playing field ever. And I think it's really cool. Because, again, the people who go off, Nick Gage, he was in jail, and people should be upset because he's so extremely hardcore. I don't think people understand why Nick Gage is so over.
Yeah,
and I'm going to tell you what I told. I'm going to tell you what I told you. Tell it to the people. Nick Gage is so over because Nick Gage believes in wrestling. And Nick Gage believes that this thing is life. And you know who else does that? A lot of the fans who are complaining about Nick Gage. Y'all have a lot in common. You just don't know it. Nick Gage is ultra violent. Sure, that's his wrestling style, but the man would literally give his life for wrestling. And there are so many people who will do the same, but they don't want to do it in the same way that Nick Gage might be able to do it.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. The guy's got some real heart and soul in it. And, like, don't come to me about him going to jail. Who gives a shit? He didn't do anything that bad.
Yeah, he tried to do the one thing we all wish we could do, and that's get more money from those who are stealing money from us.
Exactly. And he didn't hurt anyone when he did it. I don't think. Did he even have a weapon? Like, Anyway, doesn't matter. Lots of people in wrestling should be in jail.
Please, this is Toronto Fire Services. We are on scene and investigating alarm on the third floor.
Non-update.
Same
Please
thing.
remain at your current location if it is safe to do so.
This is a non-update. Why are you telling it?
This is like watching Raw. It's the same thing over again.
Yeah, just repetitive. I'll just watch the package at the pay-per-view.
So out comes MJF after Jericho gets the fall and says, "You're getting Hoovy." Juventud Guerrera is going to wrestle in 2021, which is not a shock because Hoovy's been wrestling.
He's still wrestling, yeah.
Still wrestling. But Hoovy and Jericho, their kind of breakout match or their big match was a Mask versus Cruiserweight Championship match in WCW back in '98. I'm looking forward to this as a WCW fan. I'm looking forward to this because they found a way to call back to a Dynamite where Jericho and MJF mentioned Hoovy, and MJF was like, I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah, it was like, I hold a grudge too. And he was just like, I looked it up.
I used Google, and I'm like, cool, how many more wrestling fans would actually do that and be better for it? The amount of times where I'll go into a chat and people will be like, what's this about? And I'm like, oh my God, just Google it. For the love of God, use the search bar, please. MJF, you're smart enough to use the search bar. I appreciate that. So he finds Hoovy. I don't know how he found Hoovy. I guess he just contacted him through Twitter. And next thing you know, Hoovy and Jericho next week. It's the third labor. Who's the fourth labor? Who do you think?
No clue. I don't even have the slightest idea. Who hates Jericho?
I think Paul Wyatt. I think maybe the Big Show.
That would be fun. I think that would be okay.
Or Lance Storm, but then we're getting a little too
it's a bit hefty, and like Lance isn't really wrestling a ton. He's teaching, right?
He is. You can tell the story of loser retires. Ooh. You got to face the guy you had your first match with, face the guy that you basically grew up in the business with. I think there's something there.
Yeah. I would love to see it. I love Lance Storm. Like, I think it'd be a great thing to see. Just like, even if it was just a retirement thing, I think that'd be good. Nice.
For those who have been saying, well, there's also a fifth labor. Friends, the fifth labor is MJF.
Yeah,
that was always the plan. That was always the promo. MJF is the fifth labor. I will say it again. MJF is the fifth labor. But yeah, Lance Storm and Jericho would be nice. I would like that. FTR Proud and Powerful. I'm going to have to see this match again because...
Yeah, it got a little bit ruined.
So there's a top rope spot between both men, all four of them. And Cash goes off top rope and kind of slices his forearm on the turnbuckle, and it's gnarly.
You get the hook? Like, what happened? It was hard to see.
So that's what it is. Apparently in AEW, in WWE, the hooks face upward towards the sky. In AEW, at least whoever did the tightening, the ring post, the hook faced outward, and Cash got caught on it. And
any reason why they don't face down?
I don't know about that. I don't know why.
I guess when you do the middle spots too, yeah.
Because remember, it's a hook, right? So if it's down and you hit something, it can collapse.
It might bounce out. Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas upward, at least there's a little bit more structural integrity. So it sucked. I mean, they had to call an audible. I heard right as Cash is going down, he just yells the F word so loud. And I'm listening on my headphones. I'm like, oh, okay, something's up. He was also the legal man.
He was also the legal man there too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So he had just tagged in, and then they sped through it. They went through it and pretended like he wasn't, but he was the legal man.
Yeah. So they had to call an audible. I thought they were running long. That's what I thought. I thought that the whole thing was.
Yeah. You see the blood pretty quickly, and then he just drops down and runs over to the doctor.
Yeah, so he's got it covered up. People see the cloth and they think that his bone is protruding.
It was just a pad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So sucks. They'll play this match back 100%. If it wasn't in the plans, it is now because that sucks. But Cash will be back. He'll be fine. That's the good news. Yeah. Ricky Starks' FTW celebration with DJ Taz.
It was funny. And you know what? This was better than any of the Symphony of Destruction matches we've seen in the last 6 months.
It's a low bar. That's a very low bar.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras in North Carolina.
Makes tons of sense. Yeah.
At least commentary, they cleaned it up. They said Starks is from New Orleans. Fine by me.
Yeah.
I'll take that. And then JR. Come on, man. Couldn't play along for a minute. Says the bass drum player. Says, I thought I saw him in catering earlier. And I'm like, motherfucker, you don't do that. Don't out the man. Now you're just going to tell everyone what's going to happen and what the spot is.
It's just weird. Why bring it up at all? Like, why reference the drummer?
Because he thinks he's being cute.
Oh, it's dumb.
JR loves to do this thing where he will ruin something for himself. It's like, if I don't like it, nobody's gonna like it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he's getting real like shitty about things.
He did the same thing in the Julia Hart Thunder Rosa match, which we'll talk about in a sec. He did the same thing during the Gage and Jericho match, where eventually,
this is fun. This is
eventually
fun.
he
It's like,
just
yeah, it is. It's more
out.
fun than listening to your old ass. Like,
yeah. Eventually, he just laid out. And again, you got 4 men on that booth. You could have easily just said, JR, go take a hike.
go take
lay
a
out,
hike. Yeah.
and let MJF do the shit talking. Why not?
Yeah.
It made no sense. Oh, it's back. So either way, Hook with the roses.
Very good.
I was so happy for you, Hook. I'm not going to go on because of the stupid fire alarm, but man,
Yeah, we're also
there's going to be a
an hour.
supersized Hook. Whatever. I was so happy to see Hook with the stupid roses just standing in the ring. It looks so good. And then, of course, JR, but there's no room for trombones and wrestling.
Yeah.
And, of course, Xavier Woods takes exception, as he should.
Of course. Yeah, and he got some great content up there. You set him up.
Yes, he did.
He'll
Good
knock
on
it
him.
down.
Very happy to watch that.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt just tweeted something.
Oh.
Not really. He posted an because he's cryptic. It's not my house burning down. It's Tim's house burning down.
Sure is.
Julia Hart, Thunder Rosa. Hey, man, 9:30, and you don't need picture-in-picture if you don't go the full quarter hour.
Hustle right through it.
That's right. Thunder Rosa making a big deal out of her getting signed out like that.
Yeah.
You have so many people on that roster that you could be using in more women's matches. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. They're not they're not doing it. They're putting one women's match on the show. I just want more. A lot of people want more. Week to week, this is the same criticism we have. We like the show. We like so much of the show. All I wanted was just more of the women's wrestling. That's all I need.
And don't tell me to watch Dark Elevation or Dark, because I don't care and never will.
Also, that should not be
that's not a replacement, because this is the show. Those other two are fillers. Like, I didn't give a shit about Heat or Velocity or any of that crap. Like,
I don't know. The match was fine. Again, Julia Hart's young. I get that. I don't need JR being a dick and calling her green.
Why are the boys talking for her? That was weird. I didn't care for that. I thought that was odd. Like,
that is odd. Yeah,
like, that was very strange. She said literally nothing. Like,
anyway. Yeah, it didn't really work. Either way, I didn't like it. Didn't need it. I just wanted more. Britt Baker's in the back, though. She makes reference to having a heater come in and be her secondary. Who do you think it could be? I have an idea.
Okay, who is it?
I think it's Kylan King.
I think that'd be a great move. Yeah, she can get over here now.
I don't think they need to bring anybody else in. I don't think it needs to be some random release like Ruby Soho, who I think will show up anyway.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be Kylan King, who has been on TV, who has been part of AEW for months and deserves a shot.
Yeah.
And she's tall. She absolutely fits the bill to be someone's heater. I think she's the person. You can turn her and make it go to work. I heard Genocide from NWA. That would be interesting too to me. I like that idea. She's very tall. She's very built. She's broad. I would like that. Yep. Apparently, going back to Julia Hart, thank you, Evan, for pointing it out. She said she's self-conscious about her voice, so she's working on her promos. She's 19.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to shit on her because she's 19 and she works very hard. I don't need JR pointing it out on commentary, because just because I know it, I can guarantee you person X watching the show doesn't know.
Yeah.
And hearing that is just like, well, I don't need to care about her. She's a jobber. Why do I care? She's not, though. She's not. She's on every show week to week with or without her posse. Like, it's just silly. Anyway, Kylan King is the person I would put with Britt Baker. That's
I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be a good move.
And again, it doesn't need to be. It never needs to be someone coming in. I think it's time to start.
They have a deep enough roster. Yeah.
I think it's time to start using the people that you've been bringing in. And I get that there are tiered deals. Not everyone is, quote, all elite gets the graphic, but this is an opportunity for them to receive that graphic. Let's talk about Hikuleo and Lance Archer. Speaking of someone who doesn't have the graphic, but he doesn't need it because Hikuleo is doing very well for himself.
He's so good. Like, yeah, I don't know anything about. Is he a New Japan guy? Yeah, Hikuleo.
Yes, he is. He's Ming's son, Good Brother's brother, not Good Brother. The the Gorillas of Destiny, their brother.
Yeah. Very good, very imposing. Love this match actually. Came like very much a surprise to me how much I enjoyed it. Like, guy's cool.
I was really happy. I knew it was going to be two men, two bosses. Hikuleo's a big mother.
Big boy. Yeah.
Very big fan of that. Before we got there, Tanahashi makes an appearance. Big into that. And we now know it's going to be Lance Archer and Tanahashi at Resurgence in LA. I am so upset that I can't make that.
Can't make everything, man.
I really wish.
There's a lot going on.
So much. I have friends who are going to that show, and I'm like, send me everything you got. Like, give me all the scoops. Send me some merch. Get me that New Japan tracksuit that Ming was wearing, King Haku.
Yeah.
I love it. He comes out with his boy, and what does he do? Does a Tongan death grip on Lance Archer. Love it.
Very fun.
Never goes wrong. And then what does he do after the Tongan death grip? All's normal. Because Ming is a badass. The most badass. I love it.
Very smooth.
Hikuleo doing a smooth ass power slam.
Speaking of smooth, yeah.
Smoother than the one that Dustin Runnels does. And now I am a much bigger fan of Hikuleo than I am of Dustin Runnels, because Dustin just wants, anyone who is living with homelessness to go dig through the trash instead of get handouts.
Apparently.
Ridiculous. Dumbass. Dustin stupid shit tweets. Again, Hikuleo is so young, but he's so good for his age.
Very good.
And nobody's talking about how green he is on that show. Let me tell you. One thing I didn't like about Hikuleo was he was kind of taunting and stalling a bit much to get to that top rope spot with Archer. I think maybe he just got lost. That's all.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's fine. It was a good match overall. Like, very good.
Archer hitting the big boot to Hikuleo while Hikuleo's on the top rope. Come on, man. Come on. I love it.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, and then Hikuleo takes the blackout like a champion. Like it says in the chat, 290, 6'9". Really good.
Crazy. Very crazy. Good. It looked like just massive. So, very cool.
Later on, going back to the New Japan stuff, Moxley comes on and he's just like, "Hey, I'm sending faxes. Someone's got to pay attention to me. Look, I'm a new father. New Japan, notice me."
Yeah.
Jado and Gato were just like, "This guy's crazy. I don't want him anywhere near our stuff. I don't want. He's a new father. I don't trust him." Anyway, he wants to work in Japan again. So he says he's going to be at Resurgence. He's going to bring a friend. And so it's John Moxley. He's going to challenge the Good Brothers. That's official for Resurgence.
Cool.
I assume Shota Umino is going to be making his appearance. If Shota can make it out of Britain, I'm all for it.
There's a lot. So much going on.
There's a lot.
Forbidden Door.
I really want to go to that stupid show. Somebody send me to LA because I might not be going to Chicago. We'll see. I was talking to Sean about ideas for Chicago or not Chicago, what I can do. Anyway, Andrade and Chavo.
Good.
They're all like, hey. Oh, okay. New Japan confirmed Umino's not going to be there. That upsets me. Hey, New Japan's lied to me before. Holding out hope. It's gonna be Mox and Tanahashi. No, it can't be Mox and Tanahashi. It's gonna be Mox and Okada. There you go. We're gonna tag match, just to get to Okada and Mox at All Out. I said it, Tim. Andrade. Cool. Let's talk about it. I don't know how I feel about Andrade thinking that the relationship that Pac has with the Lucha Brothers is like boss and employee, and even though Pac's like, dude, it's not how it is. We're friends.
Yeah.
And Andrade's like, you need to get them limos.
Do you know what a limo is? And Chavo did not really describe a limo. He just described any vehicle, like any car. Like,
it's a long cab. It's like a monster truck.
It was like, okay.
You didn't tell me if it was long one way or the other.
Or like why you would choose that over any other mode of transportation.
Right. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm all for the match that's going to come out of it, but man, they got to do something.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't really have any problem with it. It's just, I guess Andrade is just a huge weirdo. Like, he thinks that all social relationships are based off of financial transactions because he has no friends.
You know who else doesn't need any friends? It's Miro.
Oh, no, he's set. He's only got two things that motivate him in life.
He's got God's favorite champion, and he's got his double-jointed wife.
I appreciate the rhyme.
I do too. I'm very fond of this. This is the Miro we always wanted, and we say this every
very,
week.
very good. It's so good. I can't. It's so good.
Unfortunately for Miro, Lee Johnson brings Cody Rhodes.
Sure does. The harbinger of Cody.
The harbinger. If Keith Lee is the harbinger of Goldberg, Lee Johnson is the harbinger of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. It's going to take that precursor L.
I think Cody and Miro it all out. That's what we're doing.
Whatever.
If I'm wrong,
you know
I'm
what?
sorry.
I'll give Cody some credit. He's acting a little bit more self-aware because that promo with Malachi was so good. You know, there's so many things that are bam, just kicked in the face. That tells, you know what? That's great. Good job, Cody. Thank you. You're really self-aware with it. Like that. I appreciate that. And we've credited him for that stuff in the past. He does let people rip on him for, like, you know, precisely the lame shit he does. So good stuff. Kicked in the face.
The setups that they've had for these beatdowns have been so cheesy, but they're cheesy enough that I'm like, okay, fine. I laugh and then I watch.
Like the white suit all of a sudden with no explanation is so dumb, but like whatever.
He looks like 30-year-old Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, he looks like a con artist preacher. Like that's what he looks
like. He's a televangelist.
Like he's out there selling snake oil and indulgences. Like
instead of 700 Huntley Street, it's 700 Cody Street.
Yeah, exactly. That's who he looks like. So whatever. Anyway.
I said it once, I say it again. You don't leave the Codyverse. You get sucked in. Malachi Black.
A black hole.
Malachi Black is in the Codyverse. Miro and the TNT title are going to join the Codyverse for this all-out build. I love this. Malachi Black's getting cheered. So what do? You send out Fuego to get kicked in the face.
He got kicked so well in the face. It was great.
Silly shit like that makes wrestling my favorite. Everyone's like, no, Fuego.
It was so good.
You think Fuego's going to hit a tornado DDT on Malachi Black on Wednesday?
No, I think he'll be in the audience again. He'll just get hit by somebody.
Lawn dart. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I didn't pay much attention to the next match, to the 6-man tag.
No,
Christian,
same.
Jungle Express. Sorry, not Jungle Express. Whatever. Versus Angelico Private Party from HFO. All I can think of is like, let's turn Christian. Let's get there.
Yeah. This is.
They brought up that Christian is now at the top of the rankings, and we'll explain why when we talk about Elite and Dark Order. But there's nothing to this match.
Yeah, it happened. It was fine. It was serviceable. Nothing awful. It's just I don't know. The Hardy Family Office is not my favorite thing about AEW really, and Christian is just in a holding state.
Yeah, and like I said, we're good. We'll do Christian and Kenny at Rampage, the first one. It'll be a good match, a hot match, and then Christian will turn.
Yep.
There we go. We've been saying it for months. If it doesn't happen, sorry. Let's talk about the opening contest.
Oh, chills.
The Elite. You were so into this. So was
the
I.
Dark
So was
Order
everyone.
entrance was so well done. Like
that Ford commercial spoof. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, should I buy a truck? Because I don't feel like a cowboy, but I've been told that if I buy a truck, I will feel like a cowboy.
Yeah, probably. Trucks are fun.
I don't think I ever want to own a truck, quite honestly.
I don't want to own it here. That's for damn sure. I drove one. I drove an F-150 from here back to New Brunswick.
Oh, that's an experience.
It was fun. It was a good time. But yeah, too much money. I don't understand how anyone affords a truck. I guess you're all just bad with money.
Or just have a lot of it. So the intros were cheesy and hilarious. I was watching and just like, this is so not an AEW thing to do, but they did it so well.
The Space Jam thing was great.
So,
John Callis in the shorts, man.
Oh, man,
awesome.
Everyone's talking about them gams, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Don Callis wearing those shorts the next week on Impact. But of course, Impact's taped, so we can't see it.
Yeah. No.
Either way, Dark Order were doing the Dark Order purple on Adam Page's entrance video.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice. That was a good touch.
It was nice. It was a really great entrance. I really, really loved that. Like just visually, it was like awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, and they found a way, going back to the Space Jam entrance, they found a way to bring in the BTE spot with Nick Jackson's trick shots.
Yeah.
They found a way to bring it onto Dynamite.
Yeah, it was good. I loved it. It was funny. Yeah.
We get to the match, and holy shit, what a match it was.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we go back to the CM Punk callbacks. They do the knee the Bulldog spot from the Bucks. Yeah, really into that.
More John Silver just being tremendous. Like that guy is so impressive. Like very, very happy. He's just going to continue to grow. Like,
yeah. And just I'm seeing in the chat, they're talking about the empty spotlights for the entrance for the Dark Order for Brody and then Anna and Brody Jr. And I like that. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
They're always a part of the show, whether they're on it or not. So in the match, during the match, I was excited because I thought at one point they were going to actually do Reynolds and Silver as the two who would challenge for the tag titles if they won. Because this whole time, you and I have been saying, if they win, we said when they win, we were wrong.
No,
spoilers.
Which I appreciate too. I have no real complaints about this.
We'll talk about that. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I was saying, Impact tag titles should be added to this somehow. And then you put Silver and Reynolds for the Impact tag titles, and you give Uno and Grayson the shot at the AEW tag titles because that's something they deserve. That's something they should be doing. But instead, that's not the way they planned it out. And that's not the way the match went either. It was really nice to see Stu Grayson get a lot of shine.
Yeah, so much. Like
beat the shit out of himself for it though, but he looked good.
No, I mean, everyone really just did an excellent job in this match. Like it's great to see that something with such a hype build up through the entrances like actually pay off in the match as well. Like everything was just on point.
I said the match had to go 30 minutes, and it did, and it looked really good. One thing, this was my criticism, and I said the same thing online. I do not like when we got down to the Bucks and Kenny versus just Hangman. I really didn't like the spamming of finishes. Just the bing, bang, 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 and only near falls. I didn't like that because it just, again, I want a little bit more breathing. If you're going to spam all your finishers, that should be it. That should be the finish.
Yeah.
But not the way they want to tell the story. That's fine. They eventually picked it up, and I love the finish itself. Just that moment, I was like, not so much. Not my thing.
Yeah. But yeah,
anything else in that match really pumped you up?
No. Like it was, like I said, I think my biggest takeaway is just John Silver's amazing.
Yes, and it's good to see him back because he'd been off for so long.
Your attention, please. This is Toronto Fire Services. We are finished our activities in the building. You may resume to your normal schedules.
Didn't have a
were they like were they shooting hoops or something? Were they in the gym?
Yeah, we don't have a gym, but yeah. Interesting.
Guys, let's go take a few laps in the pool and then we'll tell them that we're ready to go. It's hot outside. Okay, so Hangman loses the match. Shock.
Yep. Big shock. Didn't expect that. Not mad about it.
I'm gonna say this, Dave. Dave Meltzer. I don't agree with you.
Oh, what's his problem now?
I still think the match is Hangman and Kenny Omega at All Out.
At All Out?
Yes, because our friend the Wrestling Observer did say that it's going to change. Hangman is out. Someone else is in. I don't think if it's Punk, I see no reason to do it. He'll get cheered and that's fine. I don't see a reason to do it because of everything we just talked about.
Yeah, like I think this is what makes this more interesting, right? Like having Hangman on the ropes like this makes it a lot more interesting. I don't know how they're going to get there, but I think they can still get there, and it'd be very, very good. So, when's All Out? September?
All Out is September 4th, 5th.
So we still got a month to change things up. There's something that could happen here.
That's what I said. Is that All Out's in a month, and you have a lot of story to tell, and that's why I wasn't upset when I saw the pinfall on Page. You can still have him sink further, and you can still have the Dark Order be the ones to pull him up and make him feel like he's still important, because that's something he never had before. He didn't have that kind of support.
Like, a lot of people didn't like, they wanted to see them not even make contact with each other in this match.
I did too.
And you know, like, and that, like, I get that, because the story isn't built yet. It's getting there. But, like, this is just the first bit. There's more story to tell here. And I think they can build it really, really, really well. And I trust that they have something in mind. I really do. I don't think that they would just do this to give a CM Punk versus Kenny Omega match, whatever.
Yeah. I don't see Punk being the play. I don't understand why you do it.
It's odd for them. Like, and I get that, you know, they're making big money plays and they might be trying to do something to propel them a little bit further, but I don't know. They seem smarter than that. They've done better things. So
Hangman can still get a spot back in the rankings. I'm seeing people talk about this. Again, we got a month. You know how many stupid ass matches you can put Hangman in between now and then? They literally
Dark
run
Elevation.
3 shows. They have Rampage coming up on the 13th. He can have 3 to 4 matches a week and be catapulted to the top. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not hard to get the rankings. I get the idea that Punk in Chicago would probably take away from Hangman, but you know how you curb that? You put Punk on early.
Yeah.
You have him in the first hot opener match. And then the rest of the night, the crowd will they'll be just as excited.
Look, yeah, CM Punk's over. Hangman's also over as hell. You look in that crowd, you see nothing but cowboy shit signs. Like, he is so over. And I feel like the AEW fans aren't as fickle. I think they're still proud of the homegrown stuff. So I don't know. I don't think they need to cut Hangman out to bring CM in.
You're also at a point where they're going to run the United Center, presumably to debut Punk. And then they're going to turn around and come back 2 weeks later to Chicago and run 3 shows.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of face time if you're going to have Punk on TV and everything. I don't know. I see the idea of him winning at Full Gear. I see that. I'm
also fine. Yeah, I'm also fine if they stretch it out that long. I don't mind either, because we wanted this to be a long, long story. And this kind of, I feel like stuff fast-tracked a little bit through this. So if he has to fall down and still climb his way back up to the top, I'm also okay with that if it's a little bit longer. Like, September does still seem like we got time, but it still seems close. I feel like they could tell a really, really long story with this, and I'd be okay with it. So,
and just from kind of recalling how we got to the match for Kenny and the Triple Threat at Double or Nothing, they did it at Blood and Guts. That's when they announced it, and they didn't even announce it then. Was it then, or was it they did the announcement and then they had the match, or was it basically there was like 3 weeks where they had to get to the Triple Threat? So then you had 2 weeks until the pay-per-view. I will let them, because they're young and they've played it out before properly, I'll let them play out their story. We still have a month until the pay-per-view. I still expect some more out of it, and I still think it's going to be Hangman.
Yeah, and like I'm not even totally over the Elite having all the gold right now. So, like, if they want to take longer, they can take longer. But either way, I think they got options.
Have Hangman beat Punk. First night in. Let's do it on a Dynamite. on a dark elevation, it's Punk versus Hangman.
That'd be great.
Anyway,
but yeah,
I think we can run for an exit now.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Between fire alarms and all the other shit happening.
It's been a day.
Friends, if you've made it this far, I want to remind you that starting in 2 weeks? No, is it 2 weeks? August 11th. That's a Wednesday.
August 11th, yeah.
Starting August 11th, we're going to be moving the show to Wednesdays and Sundays at noon Eastern. That's when we're going to be live on YouTube. You're still going to get the content, obviously, on your podcast platforms. Now you'll just get it before Dynamite, hopefully. We'll have a lot more to talk about, because the way we were doing it before was killing ourselves on Tuesday to talk about Raw for almost an hour, and we can't do that. And then we talk about NXT and we would preview Dynamite. But then we started talking about Dynamite on Sundays, because let's face it, it's a lot fresher. So we're going to move it to Wednesdays at noon Eastern, because we want to talk about all the wrestling with y'all in a more timely fashion and kind of more spread out. Yeah. So until then, Tim, where can the kids find you on the internet?
They can find me at Tim Stonep, TimbStonep on Twitter.
I'm here to ruin your schedule every day.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah.
The show is at Tim and Joel Pod, youtube.com/Tim and Joel Pod, everywhere. Just Tim and Joel Pod. You look it up. I am at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl. Again, I hosted on my own 50 minutes talking about the Impact Homecoming show last night over on youtube.com/Fightful. Had a ball. I hope to see you guys very soon. And until then, enjoy your wrestling. We'll see you soon.